to this third compared to the 48 of Foxer. See the supply depots. Good idea here, as you will throw them down behind the tall grass, prevent any sort of Zergling run-by counterattack. If you do push out these siege tanks, you are a little bit immobile, and the Zergling run-by can wreak havoc on your natural there. So, good job throwing those supply depots down. We've seen SCV in this army, perhaps auto-repairing, though it's not toggled yet. And now the Mutalisks are pushing out for Kyrix, and he's going to see what sort of production structures his opponent is on, and just poke in there and force at least one turret to go down in the main. Looks like 2 in the main, none in the natural yet. So a lot of Zerg players are just creating a few Mutalisks, and they will force that overreaction of turrets. So we see a 3rd turret going down, 4th turret going down in that natural. So if you can force those turrets up, those are minerals that the Terran player cannot use for Marines or for any upgrades, tech labs, reactors on those barracks. So smart move. There's also going to establish a little bit of map control. He's going to have to keep his Marines back in the main a little bit. We see a split force from Foxer, and wasting a stim there, as those Mutalisks are just pushing in and then quickly pulling out. We do see a 4th and 5th hatchery, well, the 4th complete at this gold, and the 5th about to complete at this side expansion for the Zerg player. If we look at the income tab, 69 harvesters to 58. If we look at the resource tab, Zerg does have a few resources, going to be able to pump army if he so chooses, and now we see him pumping out Lings and Banelings, warping in a lot of Banelings here. So he does know that the Terran player is moving out here, trying to set up a forward position with these siege tanks. He's going to try to roll in here before those siege tanks get into siege mode, doing a lot of damage with those Banelings, taking down the front 3 siege tanks, then a 4th siege tank, only 2 siege tanks left, and those Marines doing their best to micro away from these Banelings, but the Banelings rolling in, taking down all those siege tanks, and now from behind, these Zerglings are going to try to get a flank on the remaining Marines and Marauders. Now a lot of medevacs supporting these few Marines and Marauders. We see all these reinforcing Zerglings coming from Kyrix, and he's going to be able to get us around on these units. Another siege tank coming in here, trying to get into siege mode quickly to help out the Marines, and it is going to be able to do a lot of damage, fending off those Zerglings. And now we see Kyrix having to pull back. He's got 9 roaches, 3 Banelings, 5 Banelings now in production. So he's going to be able to roll in here, perhaps losing this gold hatchery, but he is on 5 bases at this point. This is not very well saturated. He does have 70 workers compared to 68, so he's going to lose this this base here. He just has the 1 siege tank for a forward position there, and he lost a lot of those siege tanks, close to half of them, when they were not sieged up in time, rolling in on the creep there with those Banelings very quickly. And now it looks like he actually may be able to clean up those siege tanks with just 2 roaches. So those roaches, the high HP and the armor, doing a lot of damage against those siege tanks. And now Foxer's going to have to retreat. If you look at the army tab, it is 1850 to 1450. And Foxer is at a disadvantage economically. He's about to finish his 3rd command center. If he's able to bust these destructible rocks, get a planetary fortress up here at this critical position on the map, he could even it up economically, but we see the Zerglings coming in here doing a great surround, causing the Marines to not be able to micro away from those Banelings. Now Banelings doing so much damage against those Marines. See a transfer of SCVs coming, perhaps a little bit too early. They are going to tank a little bit of damage, but losing a lot of SCVs here. He was on about 70 SCVs, so we'll see what that goes down to once it updates. Looks like he did lose about 10 SCVs there, and Kyrix just constantly reinforcing these front numbers. He does have another 7 roaches on its way, along with 18 Banelings, another 12 Zerglings as well. So at this point, just going to be flooding units into the base of Foxer. He's now double the income, 2,000 minerals per minute, along with 700 gas with 72 workers. Foxer just on the 2 bases cannot get this 3rd command center landed anywhere. Now Roach is going to be tanking damage on the front lines. Need to get in here and focus down that siege tank. Siege tank goes down quickly, and Baneling's rolling after these Marines. Roach is pushing the Marines backward as well. He's now pushing back up into the main of Foxer, and these Banelings just able to catch these Marines. Foxer not really doing a good job microing away from these Banelings, and the Roaches, so much HP, just pushing constantly against these units. And it looks like Kyrix just able to flood the main and the natural. See a bit of a surround on the Roach there from all those SCVs. And now we do see that the main and the natural both under assault by the Zerg player, and then more reinforcements in midfield are preparing to flood into the base here. And Fox will soon have his hands full, providing a little bit of a meat shield for the tank here with the SCVs, but at this point he is not mining. He's down to 40 minerals per minute, and these banelings rolling in there, taking care of those SCVs. Roaches, again, coming up this ramp, able to take down the tank very quickly there, and Fox is going to have to GG. So getting away from his bread and butter a little bit, the Marine King Prime, not applying much early pressure with those Marines, allowing the Zerg to do exactly what he wants, and that's to play defensively at first, make a lot of queens and a lot of hatcheries, get his income quite high, and then later in the game, taking those roaches, zerglings, and banelings, and flooding his opponent with constant unit production. At the end, it was 172 to 31. I feel like there was a bit of a game-changing moment in the mid-game there, where Foxer tried to move out with those 6 tanks and the nice ball of Marines with the medevacs. He did not get the engage, or the Zerg player did engage a little bit early before those siege tanks could get into siege mode. He lost about 4 of those siege tanks to those banelings and was not able to hold that position. If he had been able to push up, use scans to push back the creep, and then take down that gold base and keep the Zerg player off that gold base while attacking the 3rd and 4th expansion, he might have been able to take this game. But if you are going to go for that late tech, go for the siege tanks. You really have to protect them, and you have to work on establishing those forward positions and not giving them up. So the Zerg had firm map control, economic control, and the income advantage the entire game, and in the end was just able to roll over this Terran opponent like a wave with those Zerglings, Banelings, and Roaches. So looks like we will have a game 2 here. Kyrix hoping to close out the series 2-0, and Foxer perhaps going back to a little bit more Marine heavy play with early pressure to try to force a game 3 in the finals of this pre-GSL 3 All-Star Invitational Tournament. I'll go ahead and cast game 2 now. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you there.